The west coast of the United States is as beautiful as it is varied, with kite spots all the way from the north border to the south. Now, California has always been known as a surfer's paradise, but it also has some amazing places to go kiteboarding. So today we are checking out the breezy beaches of Santa Cruz and the San Francisco Bay Area. My name is Crystal. Welcome to Destinations. San Francisco is an incredible destination, whether we're talking about kiteboarding or not. From the lush forests of Marin County, across the Golden Gate Bridge, all the way down the surf coast of Santa Cruz, you will never run out of things to do. And with 10 kite spots within a 2-hour drive of the city with all kinds of riding conditions, this is a must visit for the experienced kiteboarder. Now, I don't say experience lightly, but more on that later. On this episode of Destinations, we'll give you a brief introduction on kiteboarding in the Bay Area and Santa Cruz, with all the handy need to know before you go info. Summer is prime time for kiteboarding in Santa Cruz and the San Francisco Bay Area, and the wind usually blows from April to September. Now, the key is to find out which spot the wind is blowing on the day that you want to kite. If you're willing to drive up to 3 hours, you can get in a session almost every day of summer in this area. The average wind speed when it's working is about 18 knots, but you want to be prepared for anything from 10 to 30 knots. And the wind is very location and weather dependent, so make sure you take a look at the forecast before you go. You've got plenty of kite spots to choose from in this area, and we've listed most of them in the written spot guide, which you can find by scrolling down and finding the link in the description, or by clicking on the eye up in the corner of this video. In this video, we are going to talk about 2 of the best known kite spots in the area. But before we get into it, these kite spots are for advanced to expert riders only. Now, I wanted to talk to you guys about these spots because I know they're on the must kite list for a lot of riders, but you have to be prepared. So this video is as much of a kite spot guide and introduction as it is a warning label. So let's get into it. Let's start with Crissy Field. Now, this is definitely a bucket list kite spot because kiteboarding under the Golden Gate Bridge with the city of San Francisco in front of you is probably a really incredible experience. But this is definitely an experts only kite spot. I haven't even kited there yet, and I've been standing on the beach with my kite pumped up and my wetsuit on, but I just didn't know if I was quite ready for the dangers there and the hazards. The riders that frequent Crissy Field will usually ride with a VHF radio, a personal flotation device, and a very strong knowledge of the ebb and flood tides in the area. And of course, a good awareness of the massive ships that are coming in and out of the bay. If you're not an expert level rider but you want to experience a spot, the only safe way to do it is with boat support, and we've included links to a couple companies you can reach out to in the written spot guide. If you're ready for kiteboarding at Crissy Field, well, this spot is super popular amongst foilers because foils can handle some of the more difficult conditions in the water and with the gusty wind. The spot also works for twin tips and directionals, but the outgoing area by the beach and when you come in at the end of your session can be very challenging, and the wind can be very light on the inside. So make sure to keep an eye on the wind and water before you go, and don't forget to talk to the local riders before you set up. Let's move on to Waddle Creek near Santa Cruz. So this is possibly one of the best wave spots on the west coast of the US, and it's a great place to start if you're looking for waves in the Bay Area. Think beautiful cliffs dropping off into the Pacific Ocean and a constant swell. This is as close to a pure wave spot as it gets, especially in this Northern California area. Waddle Creek, you've got side onshore wind with right-hand waves. But if it's a wave session you want, definitely keep an eye on the swell forecast because what's coming up in the swell will have a huge impact on your session. This is a spot where you might even want to leave your twin tip at home and just focus on riding a directional. While you can free ride here, ride on a twin tip or use the waves as kickers for big air, this really is like a wave haven. Before you go, you definitely need to brush up on your right-of-way rules because they are very different when they apply to riders on waves and people on waveboards. One thing to remember just quickly is that if there is a rider that's riding in on a wave, they have right-of-way over someone that's just going back and forth on their port and starboard tacks. In the kite surfing community, as in the surfing community, people are not stoked when you drop in on their wave. So make sure, if you're not 100% certain of right-of-way rules when they apply to waves, just ask someone on the beach because they will be happy to let you know what you need to do. If you're riding either of these spots, be prepared for cold water. So a 4-3 wetsuit is recommended, maybe even warmer. As always, be prepared for the swim back to the beach and not the session that you have. Off the water, the weather can be anything in San Francisco, so bring lots of layers. It could be either super hot or super cold. Just be prepared. That's the theme of this video, I think. So I think I've said experienced kiters only enough times, but good news, there's kite spots for all levels of riders here in the San Francisco Bay Area. So you can go to 3rd Ave or Alameda, which are pretty close to the city, and those are great for riders working on their progression. And there's also lots of kite schools in the area, so you can learn to kite here too, with all the boat support and safety that you might need. If you're an independent rider but you're not totally ready for these wild ocean conditions, I strongly recommend kiteboarding in Sherman Island, which is about 2 hours away from San Francisco. While the launch is a bit hectic, the conditions on the water are awesome. It's a great place to meet some of the San Francisco kiting community and get to know the spot. Without a doubt, these are some of the most incredible kite spots in America. But as they say, you've got to pay to play, or risk it for the biscuit. Either way, these are amazing kite spots and I highly recommend them for the experienced kiteboarder. So we've only scraped the surface here, but you will want to head over to the written spot guide for much more detailed information on both of these kite spots as well as several of the other kite spots in the area. And you can find a link to that by clicking on the little eye in the corner or scroll down to the description of this video. If you have any more questions for us, you can leave us a comment below or head over to our website and shoot us a message there, or you can reach out to me on social media. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and you can subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on the next destination. Thank you for watching and we'll see you next time.